News of the human victory at Wolf 359 spread across the galaxy faster than anyone expected. On worlds controlled by the Keth Empire and Violin Federation, people heard stories of a small species that had defeated the greatest fleets in galactic history. More importantly, they heard about species working together in ways that had never been possible before. Captain Jake Sullivan found himself in command of the exploration ship New Dawn, leading the first truly mixed crew in galactic history. His navigation officer was still Lisa Park, but now she worked alongside Kravak, a young Keth warrior who had learned to think beyond traditional battle tactics. At engineering, Danny Rodriguez trained Violin scientists while learning from them at the same time. 6 months ago, I was trying to kill Violin ships, Kravak said during a crew meeting. Now I'm learning their mathematics. It makes my head hurt, but in a good way. Velth 9, the Violin scientist, nodded in agreement. Keth directness combined with human creativity produces solutions I never imagined. Yesterday, we solved a power distribution problem that my people had struggled with for decades. The New Dawn's mission was to find isolated worlds and offer them something incredible, the chance to grow beyond their limitations. Jake's crew visited planets where species had been trapped in stagnation for thousands of years, showing them new possibilities. On the world Tertus 4, they found a species, called the Gron, who had been slaves to the Keth Empire for 800 years. The Gron were naturally peaceful and had never fought back against their oppressors. "We cannot fight the Empire," said Gron leader Telos when Jake's crew offered to help. "We are not warriors like you humans or the Keth." "You don't need to fight like us," Jake explained. "You need to fight like you. Show us what makes your people special." Working with the human crew, the Gron discovered that their natural empathy could be used in ways they had never considered. They learned to influence Keth garrison troops through psychological pressure rather than violence. Within 3 months, the Keth soldiers on Tertus 4 were questioning their orders and eventually joined the liberation. Back on Earth, Dr. Elena Martinez had established the Institute for Catalytic Development. Her research teams worked to understand exactly how the human catalyst effect functioned. What they learned was both exciting and frightening. Human influence triggers dormant genetic potential in other species, Elena explained to President Chen during a monthly briefing. But it's not just biological. We affect how they think, how they approach problems, how they see possibilities. Is there any limit to this effect? The president asked. We don't know yet. Every species we encounter shows different types of growth. The Gron developed enhanced emotional intelligence. Some Keth warriors are becoming philosophers. Violin scientists are writing poetry. The changes weren't limited to species that work directly with humans. On worlds throughout the galaxy, populations were beginning to question the old ways of doing things. The rigid hierarchies that had dominated galactic civilization for millennia were starting to crack. War Prime Gorvak faced rebellion within his own ranks. Younger Keth officers were refusing to follow traditional military doctrine. They wanted to experiment with new tactics, new technologies, new ways of thinking about warfare itself. The humans have poisoned our warriors with their chaos, Gorvak told the Imperial Council. They no longer follow orders without question. But General Kravix, Gorvak's own second-in-command, stood up in the council chamber. Perhaps the fault is not with our warriors, but with orders that no longer make sense. The humans have shown us that there are better ways to achieve victory than mindless destruction. The Keth Empire began to fracture as different worlds chose different paths. Some remained loyal to the old ways, but many others embraced the changes that human contact had triggered. Mindweaver Synth faced similar problems in the Violent Federation. Scientific guilds that had followed the same research methods for centuries were suddenly proposing radical new approaches to everything from space travel to energy production. "The humans have disrupted our logical progression," Synth complained to the Council of Minds. "Our researchers are pursuing theories that violate established principles." Researcher Velth 7 presented her findings to the Council. "What if our established principles were limiting us? Human influence has helped us discover new forms of mathematics, new approaches to physics. We are advancing faster now than we have in the past 1,000 years." The Violent Federation also began to change. Some worlds remained dedicated to pure logic and traditional science, but others formed new alliances with human colonies and reformed Keth territories. President Chen found himself at the center of a galactic transformation. Representatives from dozens of species came to Earth seeking guidance, protection, or simply the chance to experience human influence firsthand. "We're not ready for this responsibility," Secretary Helen Foster worried during a cabinet meeting. "6 months ago, we were barely holding our own colonies together. Now we're supposed to guide the evolution of entire civilizations?" General Marcus Webb, now working closely with reformed alien military units, disagreed. "We don't have a choice. Every day we wait, more species break free from the old empires. They need somewhere to turn, and they're turning to us." Colonel Sarah Blake proposed the creation of the Galactic Assembly, a new organization where all species could work together as equals. The first meeting was held on the neutral world of Haven, a planet that had been jointly colonized by humans, reformed Keth, and progressive Violin. "We propose the Catalyst Accords," President Chen announced to the assembled representatives. "A treaty that establishes humanity not as rulers, but as partners in galactic development. The Accords created protected zones where species could develop freely without interference from the old empires. They established human advisory teams that would help other species discover their own unique potential. Most importantly, they recognized that the galaxy's future lay in cooperation rather than domination." Not everyone accepted the new order. Hardline elements in both the Keth Empire and Violent Federation continued to resist change. They formed a coalition called the Purist Alliance, dedicated to stopping human influence and returning the galaxy to its previous state. "The humans are a disease," declared Commander Gorvoth, one of the few Keth leaders who remained completely unchanged by human contact. "They must be eliminated before they corrupt every species in the galaxy." High Mind Zentik of the Vilan agreed. "The natural order must be preserved. Each species has its proper place and function. The humans disrupt this balance." The Purist Alliance launched attacks on mixed colonies and peaceful species that had embraced change, but their efforts backfired. Every attack only demonstrated the difference between the old way of thinking and the new possibilities that humans had awakened. Jake Sullivan's crew responded to a distress call from New Harmony, a colony world where humans, Gron, reformed Keth, and progressive Violin lived together. Purist forces were attacking the planet, trying to force each species back into their proper roles. The defense of New Harmony became a symbol of the new galactic order. Species that had been enemies for millennia fought side by side, using tactics that none of them could have developed alone. The Purist attack was defeated, but more importantly, the battle showed the galaxy what was possible when species worked together. 5 years after first contact, the galaxy was completely transformed. The rigid empires of the past had given way to a dynamic network of cooperating species. trade flowed freely between worlds that had never imagined peaceful contact. Scientific discoveries accelerated as different forms of intelligence worked together on common problems. On the colony world of New Hope, 10-year-old Lisa Chen played with her friends after school. Her best friend was Kravak Minor, a young Keth whose parents had settled on the world after embracing human values. Another friend was Telos III, a Grand child whose family had escaped slavery. There was also Velth 13, a Valen youth who was learning to balance logic with emotion. The children played games that would have been impossible before the Catalyst Awakening. They built structures using Keth strength, Violin precision, Gran empathy, and human creativity. They solved puzzles by combining different ways of thinking. They created art that reflected the beauty of many different cultures. "What do you want to be when you grow up?" Lisa asked her friends during one of their play sessions. "An explorer, like Captain Sullivan," said Kravak Minor. "I want to find new species and help them discover what they can become." "A teacher," said Telos III. "I want to show others how to understand feelings the way my people do." "A scientist," said Velth 13. "But not the old kind. I want to study things that can't be measured with numbers alone." Lisa thought for a moment. "I want to be a catalyst," she said finally. "Someone who helps others become better than they thought they could be." Captain Jake Sullivan, now Admiral of the Exploration Fleet, stood on the bridge of the New Dawn as it approached yet another distant star system. His sensors had detected signs of an isolated civilization, one that had never been contacted by any of the galactic powers. "New species, Admiral," reported his science officer, a collaboration between human intuition and VLAN analysis. "They appear to be in the early stages of interstellar development." Captain Jake Sullivan's message reached Earth at the worst possible time. The combined alien fleets were moving toward the Sol system, and human defenses were failing everywhere. But the information Jake brought back changed everything. President Robert Chen called an emergency meeting with all his top advisors. Dr. Elena Martinez, Admiral Patricia Hayes, General Marcus Webb, and Secretary Helen Foster gathered in the secure briefing room deep under the Capitol building. "According to Captain Sullivan's report, we are not just another species," President Chen said, looking at the faces around the table. "We are something called a catalyst species, designed by an ancient race to help other species evolve." General Webb shook his head. "It sounds like science fiction, sir." "So did Alien Contact 3 years ago," Elena said. "But the evidence is overwhelming. Every time human technology interacts with alien systems, we get improvements that neither side thought possible." Admiral Hayes was studying tactical reports from the front lines. "Our pilots are definitely doing things that shouldn't work. Lieutenant, Tony Garcia took down a Keth destroyer yesterday using a combination of Violin energy shields and Keth weapon systems. The aliens said it was impossible to merge those technologies. Because they think in fixed patterns," Elena explained. "Humans don't. We see connections that other species miss. We adapt and change in ways they can't." The conversation was interrupted by an urgent communication from Colonel Sarah Blake. She was leading human forces in the Battle of Wolf 359, where the largest alien fleet ever assembled was heading toward Earth. "We need to implement the new protocols immediately," Sarah said over the video link. Her uniform was torn and there was smoke behind her. "The aliens are using tactics we've never seen before. They're working together now." President Chen made the hardest decision of his life. "Do it, Colonel. Use everything Captain Sullivan discovered. Show them what humans can really do." The Battle of Wolf 359 became the turning point in the war. Colonel Sarah Blake commanded a fleet of 200 human ships against more than 800 alien vessels. On paper, the humans should have been destroyed in minutes, but humans didn't fight like other species. Captain Maria Santos took her destroyer directly through the middle of the alien formation, using Violin cloaking technology powered by Keth energy cores. The combination should have been impossible, but human engineers had made it work. Commander Pete Williams led a squadron of fighters that moved in patterns no alien computer could predict. They struck fast, retreated, and struck again from completely different angles. The alien ships couldn't track them because humans didn't follow logical attack patterns. Engineer Danny Rodriguez, now serving on the flagship, created new weapons. By combining alien technologies in ways that made alien scientists declare it couldn't work. But it did work, because humans weren't limited by what was supposed to be possible. The most important breakthrough came when Dr. Elena Martinez discovered how to use the catalyst effect deliberately. She found that human crews could actually improve alien technology just by operating it with a different mindset. Don't try to use the Keth shields the way they were designed, she told human engineers over the communication network. Think about what you need them to do, not what they're supposed to do. The results were amazing. Human ships started surviving hits that should have destroyed them. Human weapons began cutting through alien armor that was supposed to be indestructible. But the real shock came when something unexpected happened during the battle. Some of the alien crews started changing their own tactics. Keth warriors began, using flexible strategies instead of rigid assault patterns. Violin technicians started making creative modifications to their equipment. Being near humans was affecting the aliens themselves. War Prime Gorvac noticed it first. His own tactical officers were suggesting strategies that violated basic Keth military doctrine. The humans are infecting us with their chaos, he told his commanders. Mindweaver Senth was seeing the same thing on Violin ships. Engineers were proposing modifications that went against centuries of established science. The catalyst effect is spreading, she realized with horror. But not all aliens were afraid of the changes. On the Keth ship Bloodfire, a young warrior named Kravak looked at the human tactics and felt excited instead of angry. "Why do we always attack the same way?" he asked his superior officers. "What if we tried something different?" On the VLAN research vessel Mindlight, a scientist named Velth 9 was studying human technology and making discoveries that thrilled her. "Look at how they combine systems," she told her colleagues. "They're creating new possibilities we never imagined." The battle raged for 6 hours. Human casualties were heavy, but they were winning. More importantly, the effect of human presence was spreading through both alien fleets. Crews were questioning orders, trying new approaches, thinking in ways they had never thought before. President Chen watched the battle reports from Earth. The numbers looked impossible. Human ships were outperforming alien technology by margins that made no scientific sense. "How are we doing this?" he asked Elena. "We're not just using their technology," she explained. "We're evolving it. Every human ship that encounters alien equipment changes it somehow, makes it better, makes it do things it was never designed to do." And the aliens? They're starting to evolve too. The ones that survive contact with us are becoming more flexible, more creative. They're becoming more like us. The turning point came when a group of young Keth warriors and Vilan scientists made an unprecedented decision. They broke ranks with their own fleets and began fighting alongside human forces. Captain Jake Sullivan, now commanding a mixed crew of humans and aliens, couldn't believe what he was seeing. A month ago, these species had been trying to kill each other for 1,000 years, he told his crew. Now they're working together like they've been partners forever. The catalyst effect was working exactly as the architects had designed it. Humans weren't conquering other species. They were helping them transcend their limitations. War Prime Gorvak and Mindweaver Senth found themselves in an impossible situation. Their own crews were rebelling, not with violence, but with ideas. Young officers were proposing changes to military doctrine and scientific theory that went against everything both civilizations believed. "We can stop the humans," Gorvak said during a desperate communication with Senth. "But we cannot stop what they have awakened in our own people." "The catalyst cannot be contained," Senth agreed. "It spreads through contact, through proximity, through mere exposure to human ways of thinking." The final blow came when entire alien ships began switching sides. Not because they were defeated, but because their crews had been changed by prolonged contact with human forces. They wanted to explore this new way of thinking and being. By the end of the battle, the combined alien fleet was scattered. Some ships retreated to their home territories, others remained to join the growing alliance of species that were embracing change and growth. Colonel Sarah Blake stood on the bridge of her flagship, looking out at a mixed fleet of human, Keth, and Violin vessels working together to rescue survivors from both sides. "This isn't the end of the war," she told her communications officer. "This is the beginning of something completely new." Back on Earth, President Chen addressed the planet and all human colonies. "We have learned what we truly are," he said. "We are not conquerors or destroyers. We are catalysts. We help other species grow beyond what they thought possible, and in doing so, we grow ourselves." The galaxy would never be the same. The sleeping giants had awakened, and they were more powerful than anyone had imagined, not because they could destroy, but because they could transform. The attacks on human ships were getting worse. Both alien fleets had stopped pretending to be enemies. They were working together now, and their target was clear: humanity. Captain Jake Sullivan received new orders from Earth Command. "Find out what they really want," Admiral Hayes told him during a secure video call. "Our intelligence suggests there's something on the planet Kepler 442b. Both alien fleets keep sending scouts in that direction." Jake knew Kepler 442b well. It was marked as uninhabitable in all human records. The planet was cold, covered in storms, and had poisonous air. No human had ever tried to land there. "Why would anyone want to go to that dead world?" asked Lisa Park as she set course for the planet. "Maybe it's not as dead as we thought," Jake said. The journey to Kepler 442b took 6 days. Along the way, they passed the wreckage of human ships that had tried to fight the aliens. Danny Rodriguez counted the debris fields sadly. 15 ships. "Lost in the past month," he said. "Good people, all of them." Amy Chen was monitoring alien communications constantly. "Both fleets are sending more ships toward the planet," she reported. "But they're staying back, like they're afraid to get too close." When the Aurora reached Kepler 442b, Jake understood why the aliens were being careful. The planet looked normal from space, but their sensors showed something impossible. Hidden, under the storms and poisonous clouds, was a structure that didn't belong there. "That's not natural," Danny said, staring at his readings. "Something built that. Something big." The structure was buried deep under the planet's surface, but it was huge. Jake estimated it was the size of a city, maybe bigger. It was also very older than human civilization, older than the alien empires. "We're going down there," Jake decided. "Captain, the atmosphere will kill us in minutes," Lisa said. "Then we'll wear protective suits and work fast." The landing was rough. The storms on Kepler 442b were fierce, with winds that could knock over a building. Jake, Lisa, Danny, and Amy wore their best environmental suits as they made their way toward the buried structure. They found an entrance hidden in a canyon wall. The door was made of some kind of metal that didn't appear in any human database. When Jake touched it, the door opened by itself. "Well, that's not creepy at all," Danny muttered. Inside, the structure was filled with soft blue light that came from nowhere Jake could see. The walls were covered with symbols and pictures that moved like living things. At the center of the main room was a pillar of light that projected images into the air. "It's some kind of recording system," Amy said, studying the projections. "But the language is unlike anything I've ever seen." Jake walked closer to the pillar. When he got near it, the images changed. Suddenly, he could understand what he was seeing. The pictures told a story. Long ago, before humans or Keth or Violin existed, another race lived in the galaxy. They called themselves the Architects. They were builders and teachers who traveled from world to world, helping other species grow and learn. The Architects had a great project. They wanted to create the perfect species, one that could adapt to any situation and solve any problem. They tried many times, creating the Keth to be strong warriors and the Violin to be brilliant scientists. But each species they made was limited in some way. "They're showing us their final experiment," Jake said, his voice full of wonder. The images showed the Architects coming to a small blue planet on the edge of the galaxy. They found primitive creatures living there, early humans. But instead of changing them completely like they had done with other species, they made only small adjustments. They gave humans something special, the ability to grow and change without limits. Unlike other species that became very good at one thing, humans could become good at many things. They could adapt, learn, and evolve in ways that other species couldn't. "We're their masterpiece," Lisa whispered. The recording continued. The Architects had to leave before their experiment was complete. Something had gone wrong in their own civilization, but they left instructions and warnings for when humans were ready to learn the truth. The catalyst that the aliens were searching for wasn't an object or a weapon. The catalyst was humanity itself. Meanwhile, on Earth, Dr. Elena Martinez was making her own discoveries. She had been studying the effects of alien technology on human equipment. What she found was amazing and terrifying. Every time our ships encounter alien technology, something strange happens, she told President Chen during an emergency briefing. "Our computers start working better, our weapons become more accurate, our shields get stronger." "How is that possible?" the president asked. "I think it's us," Elena said. "I think humans change alien technology just by being near it. We make it work in ways it was never designed to work." General Webb was studying reports from the front lines. Human ships were starting to win battles against the aliens, even though they were outnumbered and outgunned. The victories didn't make sense based on firepower alone. "Our pilots are using tactics that the aliens can't predict," he said. "We're combining Keth and Violin technologies in ways that neither side thought possible." Colonel Sarah Blake was leading the Human Defense Forces. She was a young officer with bright ideas and no fear. "The aliens think in straight lines," she explained to her commanders. "Keth always attack directly. Violin always used the most logical approach. But humans think differently. We can be unpredictable. Back on Kepler 442b, Jake's team was learning more from the architect recordings. The ancient race had built safety measures into their experiment. If humans ever became dangerous, the galaxy would find ways to contain them. But if humans used their gifts wisely, they could help all species reach their full potential. The Keth and Violin know what we are, Amy realized. That's why they're afraid. We're not just another species they can conquer or negotiate with. We're something that could change their entire way of life. Danny was studying the technology in the architect facility. This equipment is incredible, he said, but I think I understand how it works. It's not just alien technology. It's designed to work with human minds. Jake made a decision that would change everything. We're taking this information back to Earth. Our people need to know what they really are. But as they prepared to leave, Kepler 442b, their sensors detected incoming ships. Both Keth and Violin fleets were approaching the planet. The aliens had decided that humanity was too dangerous to survive. War Prime Gorvac and Mindweaver Synth had put aside their ancient hatred to focus on what they saw as a greater threat. If humans continued to spread across the galaxy, their influence would make the old ways impossible. The catalyst species must be contained, Gorvac said during a joint alien command meeting. Agreed, replied Synth. Their potential for disruption is beyond calculation. We cannot allow them to activate fully. Jake and his crew barely escaped Kepler 442b before the alien fleets arrived. As they raced back to human space, they carried with them the most important discovery in human history: the knowledge of what humanity really was and what they could become. The galaxy was about to learn that the small, peaceful species from Earth was actually something far more dangerous and wonderful than anyone had imagined. The sleeping giants were starting to wake up. 6 months passed since Captain Jake Sullivan found the dying alien scientist. Earth tried to prepare for what might come, but no one really knew what to expect. Then the aliens arrived. The first ship appeared at the edge of the Centauri system on a Tuesday morning. It was huge, bigger than any human ship ever built. The metal was dark red and covered with weapon ports. Admiral Patricia Hayes knew immediately what it was: a Keth battlecruiser. "This is War Prime Gorvac of the Keth Empire," came the message in broken human language. "Humans will submit to Imperial rule. You will give us all information about the catalyst. Refuse and your worlds will burn." The alien's voice was deep and harsh. Elena Martinez listened to the recording from her station and felt afraid. The Keth sounded like they meant every word. Before Earth could respond, another ship appeared from a different direction. This one was smooth and silver, shaped like a graceful bird. It moved without making any sound that human sensors could detect. "Greetings, young species," said a voice that sounded almost musical. "I am Mindweaver Synth of the Violin Federation. We offer you protection and friendship. In return, you will help us locate an ancient artifact that belongs in civilized hands." President Robert Chen stared at the reports on his desk. 2 alien fleets had just entered human space at the same time. Both wanted something called the Catalyst. Both seemed to think humans either had it or knew where it was. "What do our intelligence files say about this catalyst?" he asked his advisors. General Marcus Webb was a military man with short gray hair and serious eyes. "Nothing useful, sir. We have old stories from both alien cultures about some kind of super weapon, but no details." Secretary Helen Foster was younger and preferred talking to fighting. "Maybe we can negotiate with both sides. Find some middle ground." "There is no middle ground when 2 empires want the same prize," General Webb said. We need to prepare our defenses. Captain Sullivan's ship, Aurora, was caught between the two alien fleets near Centauri. His crew watched through the ship's cameras as the aliens faced each other across empty space. Both fleets had enough firepower to destroy entire planets. "I count 30 Keth ships," reported Lisa Park from navigation. "Heavy cruisers and destroyers." "The Violin fleet has 20 ships," added Danny Rodriguez. "But their energy readings are off the charts. I think each one of their ships is more powerful than 3 Keth vessels." Amy Chen was working hard to listen to alien communications. "Both sides are demanding that we choose. The Keth want us to surrender. The Violin want us to sign a protection treaty." Jake watched the alien ships through the main screen. He had seen pictures of their weapons in intelligence briefings. The Keth used massive cannons that could crack a moon in half. The Violin had energy beams that could cut through any known material. "What happens if we say no to both of them?" Lisa asked quietly. "I don't think they're going to give us that choice," Jake said. Back on Earth, Dr. Elena Martinez was making a disturbing discovery. She had been studying the alien communication patterns for months. Hidden in their messages were references that made no sense. "They keep calling us the sleeping giants," she told Admiral Hayes during a video call. "Both sides use that exact phrase when they talk about humans." "What do you think it means?" the Admiral asked. "I don't know, but there's more. They also mentioned something about unactivated potential. Like they think humans can do something we don't know about yet." The situation got worse when a Keth patrol ship found a human mining station on the edge of the system. The station manager, a man named Carl Bryant, refused to let the aliens board his facility. "This is human territory," Carl told them over the radio. "You have no right to search our stations." The Keth response was swift and brutal. Energy beams from their ship turned the mining station into glowing debris. 200 humans died in less than a minute. The news reached Earth within hours. President Chen called an emergency session of the Colonial Defense Council. The room was full of angry voices. "They murdered our people," General Webb said, his face red with rage. "We have to respond. If we attack them, both alien fleets will destroy us," Secretary Foster argued. "We need to find a peaceful solution." "There is no peaceful solution when dealing with killers," Admiral Hayes said. "I'm deploying the defense fleet to protect our colonies." Elena Martinez raised her hand to speak. "Before we do anything, I think you should see this." She activated a screen showing her analysis of alien communications. "Both the Keth and Vilan are afraid of us," she said. "I can see it in their message. Patterns. They have better technology and more ships. But something about humans makes them nervous." "That's impossible," General Webb said. "They just destroyed a mining station without breaking a sweat." "Maybe," Elena said. "But then why haven't they attacked Earth directly? Why are they trying to negotiate? If they're so powerful, why not just take what they want?" President Chen studied the information on the screen. "What are you suggesting, Doctor?" "I think they need something from us. And I think they're more afraid of us than we are of them." The next day, Admiral Hayes sent 12 human ships to protect the colonies near Centauri. The ships were small compared to the alien vessels, but they carried the best weapons and shields Earth could build. Captain Sullivan watched from the Aurora as the human fleet took position between the alien fleets and the human colonies. The tension in space was so thick you could almost feel it. "This is Commander Rick Barnes of the Earth Defense Force," came a message on all frequencies. "Human space is under our protection. Any attack on our people will be met with force." "War Prime," Gorvak's response was immediate. Humans dare to threaten the Keth Empire? Your tiny ships are insects before our might. But Mindweaver Senth's message was different. Violence serves no one, brave humans. Perhaps we can find a solution that benefits all parties. Jake noticed something strange. The Keth fleet was powerful, but they didn't attack immediately. The violent ships moved closer, but they kept their weapons powered down. Both sides seemed to be waiting for something. Amy, are you picking up any private communications between the alien fleets? Jake asked. Amy worked at her station for several minutes. Yes, Captain, very faint signals. I think the Keth and Violent commanders are talking to each other. Can you decode what they're saying? Not completely, but I'm getting words like containment and elimination and before it spreads. Danny looked up from his engineering station. Captain, I'm reading some kind of interference from both alien fleets. It's affecting our systems in weird ways. What kind of interference? I'm not sure, but our computers are running faster. Our sensors are picking up things they couldn't detect before. It's like being near the aliens is making our technology work better. Jake felt a chill run down his spine. He remembered what the dying alien scientist had told them about the catalyst. What if the catalyst wasn't an object at all? What if it was something else entirely? The standoff continued for 3 days. Neither alien fleet attacked, but neither one left either. Human ships patrolled the area, ready for a fight that might destroy them all. Then everything changed when a small Keth patrol attacked a human transport ship carrying families to a new colony. The transport was destroyed, but not before it sent a distress signal. The message was simple but changed everything. They're here. Both sides are working together now. God help us all. Dr. Elena Martinez stared at the screen in front of her. The numbers were wrong again. For the past 3 years, she had been watching signals from deep space. Her job was simple. Listen to what was happening far away from Earth and report anything important. The space station New Horizon floated quietly above Earth. Elena worked alone most nights, watching her computers catch signals from across the galaxy. Tonight was different. The signals were getting stronger. Far away, 2 huge alien groups were fighting a war. The Keth Empire loved war and conquest. They had big ships and powerful weapons. The Violent Federation was smart with technology. They could build amazing machines and computers. Both groups had been fighting for many years. Earth knew about the war, but stayed out of it. President Robert Chen had made this choice clear to everyone. This is not our fight, he said in his speeches. We will not waste human lives on alien wars. Most people agreed with him. Earth had only been traveling to other stars for 50 years. Humans had colonies on 12 worlds, but they were small and peaceful. Why should Earth fight aliens when humans were still learning how to live among the stars? Captain Jake Sullivan didn't think about politics while he flew his ship. The Aurora was an exploration vessel designed to find new worlds and study them. Jake had been flying ships for 15 years. He was good at his job, and his crew trusted him. Captain, we're getting something strange, said Lisa Park from her seat at the navigation controls. Lisa was young but smart. She could read star maps better than anyone Jake knew. What kind of strange? Jake asked, walking over to look at her. Screen. It looks like a distress signal, but it's not human, Lisa said. The pattern is all wrong. Danny Rodriguez looked up from his engineering station. Danny could fix anything that broke on a ship. He had thick hands and a quick mind. I'm reading debris about 2 million kilometers from here, he said. Something big got blown up. Amy Chen was working at the communications station. She was quiet most of the time, but she could speak 6 human languages and understand alien signals better than anyone in the fleet. Captain, I'm picking up life signs. Very weak, but someone is alive over there. Jake made his decision quickly. Change course. We're going to help whoever is out there. The Aurora moved through space toward the debris field. What they found surprised them. Pieces of a ship floated everywhere. The ship had been beautiful once, with smooth curves and bright metal. Now it was broken and dark. That's a Violin ship, Amy said, looking at her readings. I recognize the design from our intelligence files. Any idea what destroyed it? Jake asked. Danny checked his sensors. Keth weapons. The blast patterns match what we know about their cannons. They found the survivor in a small escape pod. The alien was hurt badly and barely breathing. Jake had never seen a Vilan before. The creature looked almost human, but with longer arms and pale blue skin. Its eyes were larger than human eyes and completely black. Amy worked hard to set up translation, equipment. It took 2 hours before they could talk to the alien. When it finally spoke, its voice was soft and musical. I am Zelth 4, the alien said. I am a scientist. My ship was carrying important research. What kind of research? Elena asked over the communication link from her station. Zelth 4 looked weak, but its voice became urgent. We were studying old records, ancient stories. Both our people and the Keth have been searching for something. We call it the catalyst. Jake leaned forward. What is this catalyst? An object of great power, Zelth 4 said. Legend says it can end wars. Give victory to whoever holds it. Both sides want it desperately. The alien's breathing became harder. Amy gave it some medicine to help with the pain. Zelth 4 continued, speaking. Our research showed that the catalyst might be in this area of space, in human territory. Jake felt cold suddenly. Are you sure? The old records point here. Both the Keth and Violin fleets are coming. They will search every world, every station. They will demand that humans help them find it. Back on the space station, Elena was getting worried reports from all over human space. Ships had been spotted near human colonies, not attacking, just watching. Both Keth and Violin vessels were moving closer to Earth's territory. Admiral Patricia. Hayes called an emergency meeting with the Colonial Defense Council. She was an older woman with gray hair and sharp eyes. She had been protecting human space for 20 years. The situation is changing, she told the council members. Our intelligence shows that both alien factions are moving ships toward our borders. They're not fighting each other right now. They're looking for something. President Chen listened carefully. He was a calm man who thought before speaking. Do we know what they want? Not yet, Admiral Hayes said. But whatever it is, they think we have it. Elena sent her reports to Earth every day. The alien signals were getting stronger and more focused. Both sides were definitely coming toward human space. She could tell they were organizing their fleets for something big. On the Aurora, Zelth 4 was getting weaker. The alien scientist had more to tell them, but its injuries were too severe. Before it died, Zelth 4 grabbed Jake's arm. Tell your leaders, the alien whispered. The catalyst is real. When they find it, the galaxy will change forever. Your people need to be ready. Jake looked out at the stars through the ship's main window. Somewhere out there, 2 powerful alien empires were getting ready to enter human space. They were looking for something that could change everything. Earth had stayed out of their war for 3 years. Jake had a feeling that was about to end.